Hello and welcome, or welcome back, as the case may be, to the Atlantean Archive. Thanks for stopping by today. Now, I haven't been able to put out too many videos recently. Some of you know a little bit about my background. I've got, of course, a full-time job and family, just like many of you do. I've also got a couple special needs kids, and that presents challenges of its own. So I don't get to put out as much content as I would like to do. I think things are going to clear up a little bit more in the future, maybe, and I should be able to do a little bit more of that. So in the meantime, I wanted to make this video. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but I wanted to say thank you to those of you who have recently subscribed to the channel, as well as those of you who have been suffering along with it since the very beginning. You know, it's just a little over a year old now, and we've just passed 2,400 subscribers. So I'm blown away by that. Thank you very much. The last video that I did on my top 10 made-for-TV horror films, that was very successful. It was the most successful video I've done on this channel to date. A great response for a channel of this size. Almost 60,000 views now, over 700 comments. I've been struggling to try to keep up with all the comments. In fact, I wanted to try to acknowledge everybody personally. If I missed your comment for some reason or another, it's not personal, not just overlooking you or whatever. It's just that it's been very difficult to keep up with it, and I don't always get notifications. So I'll go back and find out, on a video somebody left a comment 2 months ago and I never saw it. So if I haven't responded to you on something, I apologize for that. I'm trying to get back to everybody, but when you get response like that, it's overwhelming. It's wonderful, but it's a little bit overwhelming. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, that's the kind of stuff I do. It's retro stuff here, a lot of 70s and 80s stuff, but stuff older than that as well. I go into the 90s as well sometimes, and I'm going to be doing that more in the future, talking about stuff like the Stand miniseries, which I thought was fantastic. It still holds up very well today. So we're going to be talking about some things like that. But take a look at the past videos on the channel, see if there's anything of interest to you. I do a lot of book reviews on this channel. I've gotten into authors like some more modern authors like Stephen King. I've gotten into Richard Matheson a good bit, but I go back in time to some of the pulp writers too, like Clark Ashton Smith, who I'm hoping to return to on this channel. I've gotten into Robert E. Howard, especially his Conan material, which I know many of the people who watch this channel are fans of. I've gotten a lot of feedback from you on that. H.P. Lovecraft. I've covered a number of his things here, and we'll do more on that in the future. So got those different kinds of book reviews out there if you want to check those out. And that's actually the question that I wanted to ask those of you who see this video and take the time to respond to it. Of all the content on this channel, the book reviews, they can be time consuming because of the way that I do them. I try to put a little more into them. I try to do deep dive type content on this channel for the most part. I don't just give you a 5-minute blurb. I've got nothing against that. For people, that's their shtick. That's what they do. That's fine. If you just want a little blurb on a book, give you a few hooks out there, a reason why you might want to read it, that's fine. But as a huge reader and as a writer myself as well, I love story, I love characters, and I tend to really do deep dives and get into plot lines and character issues that really make things stand out for me. So I get into that in some detail. They're kind of time consuming. They also tend to be the videos on this channel that are viewed, that have the fewest views. So I wanted to talk to you about that and ask you if you want me to continue doing book reviews, individual book reviews. Many of you found this channel through those reviews, though. So, and I want to try to continue to bring content that, the widest variety of folks that are tuning here want to see. I bring things that are, of great interest to me. They may not resonate with too many other people, but some of you out there are going to, it'll have some appeal for you. So I just wanted to check with you on that. Give me some feedback in the comments, if you will. Let me know, should I continue doing the individual book reviews. I do some short story readings and poetry readings on this channel as well. I've done a couple of H.P. Lovecraft's, actually 3 of H.P. Lovecraft's short stories. I did The White Ship, The Doom That Came to Sarnath, and The Statement of Randolph Carter. I've done some poetry readings. I did Edgar Allan Poe, one by Edgar Allan Poe, one by Robert E. Howard. So I hope to do some more of that in the future. I've also done some reading of my own material, my own original short story, A Touch of the Ruthless. And a good number of you saw that video. So I hope to do some more of my own fiction on the channel in the future, do some readings of that. I've also, as I mentioned, that I'm a writer. As a matter of fact, in 2025, it'll be 30 years that I have been writing personally and professionally full-time in some capacity or another. Every place I've ever worked, I've become known as a writer and editor, and I've just done everything under the sun. I was a freelancer for a while. I've done ghostwriting, all kinds of stuff, just for decades now. So no, I'm not a Stephen King or J.K. Rowling or somebody you've heard of like that, but I am an experienced writer. And I hope to bring some more of that kind of content to the channel in the future, not just my own original fiction, but my thoughts on writing, some tips on writing, things that I have found helpful over the years that may be useful to those of you who are trying to get started as writers, or maybe you're struggling, or just want some tips in general for how you might be able to improve. I might be able to help with that. In keeping with the retro theme of the channel, I have written a retro horror novel. It's called Descendant Darkness. It's a vampire novel. It's old school vampires. So for those of you who grew up like I did with stuff like Dark Shadows, Kolchak the Night Stalker, all the old Dan Curtis stuff, if you like that kind of stuff, check that book out. You may really enjoy that. It's written for people just like you. I wrote basically all of that kind of stuff that I grew up with. I put into that book everything that I loved about it, and basically put my own spin on it. So if you haven't seen that, there's a link in the description to where you can find it on Amazon. The Kindle edition will be available for free download for the next few days, so you can pick that up for free. I also do a reading of the introduction to the book on the channel. If you have read the book, or you do decide to check it out in the future, and you have a few minutes, please consider leaving a review on Amazon, even if it's only a sentence or two. Indie authors are the redheaded stepchildren of the publishing industry. Any kind of exposure that we can get is a bonus. Anything at all helps us out there. So, and if you come across this video in the future and you don't see the Kindle book available for free, and you're willing to commit to do a review of the book, whether it's positive or negative, whatever it is, drop me a line at the email address in the video description. I'll be happy to send you a PDF of that out. Again, if you're willing to review the book, I'm happy to send that out to you and get as much exposure for it as I can. Every little bit helps, again, with those indie authors. So we've got that kind of content on the channel. I've also done some general topics. One of the most popular videos on the channel, the second most popular video I've ever made here, was Crom, a look at Conan's Dark God, where I go into the philosophy, the ideology of Robert E. Howard, and how it shaped his creation of Conan and Conan's world, and how it reflects who Robert E. Howard was himself. Again, second most popular video I've ever made. Got a lot of feedback on that. I did a video on why nice people like horror. So just general topic, got a good number of views on that, a good number of responses. That kind of thing is fun to do. I love covering topics as well. I did a video, H.P. Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard, comparing their fantasy worlds. It was called Conan and Cthulhu, the fantasy worlds of Robert E. Howard and H.P. Lovecraft, where I got to talk about that a little bit. That one got quite a few views as well. I will, from time to time, do some retro-style videos on just topics that are of general interest to me as well, like I did one on Titanic. It was partially a book review of Walter Lord's book, A Night to Remember, but also the legacy of the Titanic tragedy and how it has impacted our thinking over the years. You know, the Titanic wreck was found in 1985. I remember watching that as a kid, so it was something that happened in my generation. So I'll do, general content videos like that from time to time. I'll do some fun stuff every once in a while. The MST video that I did when my 1,000 subscriber video, I did a review of The Final Sacrifice, aka Quest for the Lost City. Many of you remember that from Mystery Science Theater 3000. That was fun to do. I hear, by the way, from Shout Factory that they may have obtained the rights to re-release that. So hopefully in the future. I know they did a broadcast on Thanksgiving Day. For the first time in years, they were able to legally show The Final Sacrifices. So that was fun. I'm going to cover other topics like that on this channel. And I don't want to go on too long with this video, but I wanted to give you a general idea of what it is that I do here. Again, retro style content, a lot of 70s and 80s, but I go way beyond that too. I talk about all those old authors, Clark Ashton Smith, H.P. Lovecraft. I'll be talking about other people in the future like M.R. James. I talk about Richard Matheson sometimes, hugely influential, of course, as a novelist and as a TV writer. So we'll be getting into that. I hope I brought you a couple of interviews on the channel recently, one with a horror host that I grew up watching, Dick Dizell, known as Count Gore Duvall. For those of you in the Washington, D.C. area, you may remember Count Gore Duvall. I also did one with Wesley Ure not too long ago, better known to most of you as Will Marshall from Land of the Lost. And I'm hoping to do more of that kind of thing in the coming year. I've got some people that I'd like to get lined up for the channel, so we'll see how that goes. If you have recommendations for what you would like to see on the channel, please do let me know. You can send me an email, again, the address in the video description, or you can respond to any of my videos and just let me know what you think. But I wanted to go through, just do the quick overview, introduce the channel a little bit more to those of you who are new here. Thank you again for stopping by. And as I said with indie authors, every little bit of attention or help we can get helps us to succeed. The same is true with small-time YouTubers. So if you enjoy a video, please give it a like. Please comment on it, even if it's a, just a nice video, something like that. Share it if you can, if you think anybody else would be interested in it. Everything like that helps. The YouTube gods atop, Mount Doom take notice of this kind of stuff. One other thing too, I do some retrospectives and reviews. I'm going to be getting into more of that. I've done one so far for The Night Stalker, the original movie with Darren McGavin and Claude Akins that so many of you will remember. Did that, started off, the first minute 30 seconds of it is a fan trailer that I created for the movie because I don't think a trailer actually exists. Never been able to find one. So I created my own. I'll probably release that as a separate video at some point in the future just because it was fun to do. So again, thank you for watching. Thanks to those of you who have subscribed. Hope to see you again in the future. And until next time, God bless.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.